Hey, welcome back. The Homestead is not having heart surgery. I know the title kind of made it seem that way, but it's me. I know. This picture of health. Actually, I look like I've been rolling around in I don't know what. But that's because we've been so busy. In roughly 96 hours from the moment I film this, not necessarily the moment you see it, I will be waking up from having open heart surgery, which you've all heard of a Colombian necktie. I'm calling this the Zimbabwe zipper, so if you can help me spread the word. I have what's called mitral valve prolapse, and to answer a few questions, I did not take any medical experiments in the past 3 years. We did try just about every homeopathic thing we could think of, herbs, spices, the whole bit, and as it turns out, I have a structural defect, so I may or may not wake up with an artificial valve here in about 96 hours. That being said, we've had a boatload to do on the homestead, so I have not had time to film for you. So what we're gonna do today is threefold. We're gonna walk around, I'm gonna show you where we're at on the property, I'm gonna show you the systems that we have put in place to try and make this recovery easier. This is like a 3 to 4 month recovery. 2, we have a massive surprise for you. And 3, a lot of you have asked how you can help, and I've got 3 ways that you can potentially help us through this recovery. So let's get cracking. I neglected to mention, we're going to tell you also what we're just not going to be able to do, some of the things we won't have time to get done beforehand. So we have moved our chickens to right here by the house. Chickens. They've got multiple barrels of feed. We've got them hooked into an electric fence via charger instead of solar. And they are right here. Makes things nice and easy. And they're actually right here on the way to our kitchen garden, which is doing really well, but it's gonna get a little weedy. We got some of our spaghetti squash coming in, some other squash down there. Sweet potatoes have nearly taken over. Vines are getting crazy. Tomatoes galore. Some peppers. And the strawberry patch has just gone nuts. Look at these things. You remember when we planted these. Look at all these sweet potatoes. Awesome. So for a little while the garden's just gonna have to tend for it to itself. We got about a 5-day stay in the hospital, so. Oh look, I waited too long. It's okay. It's one of the beautiful things about being near the chickens. All right, let's go check out the piggies. Made some differences there too. All right, so here we are at what was the crop garden. You can see it's all overgrown. But what we've done is moved our pig charger and fence all the way around. So we have enclosed this entire area because we want them to root it up, poop in it, and all that stuff, and then plant potentially a winter cover crop. And man, they are doing a great job. Look at this. All this rooting. Tilling up everything, turning it over, leaving their nutrients behind, but all the way around. So we're hoping they will essentially do this to everything. And then we would just come behind, disc it, and plant. But the other thing we did, we had all these different paddocks in the woods. We've taken all those out. Everything is out. So now all they have is a massive wire around the back that goes all the way around and then includes this feed area. This should keep them for at least 2, if not 3 months. Now the cows we haven't done much different with. They have water. We've mowed around the fence. Not really that exciting, but it's good. We've bought extra feed. Everybody's kind of set in that sense. We've filled all of our gas cans. The lawnmower has gas, the tractor has gas, the generator has gas. We've topped all those things off. So we're pretty much ready, I think, as much as we can be. for the things that needed tending. You ready for a surprise? Y'all remember Penny was pregnant? Well, Penny had her piglets. Huh, Mama? I know, I know. Penny had 14 piglets. And here's Mrs. Flannel with some straw. Go ahead. Look at it. You can barely see them in this speckled light. But one we found dead. We did not witness these births. And two we discovered she had rejected. But currently she is looking after 11. And what we did was we put her in this separate pen area. And then earlier today we actually doubled it so it goes way back into the woods. You can see the pig fencing back there. No electric netting here. This is all hog panel because we need to keep the little guys in here until it's time to cut them and then wean them. And this area is connected to right here where, if you remember, that's how we separate the piglets out. We have a little opening right there, and the piglets, when they get bigger, will run back and forth, and then when we need to, we can close that off and wean them. It is hot today. Whew, let me tell you. All right, you want to see the two runts that we are attempting to rescue? All right, so I'd like you to meet Rascal and Princess.
Babe.
Babe? Well, maybe we'll call her Babe. So these two were off to the side by themselves, and she went over and growled at them, unlike the other 11, which were laying near her and nursing. So what we've done is we've gotten some colostrum replacement and some little nipples in a bottle, and we have been hand feeding them. Now, if you were on a commercial farm, the runts just get left to die because she actually doesn't have enough teats to feed them, and so if they don't make it, they don't make it. Bad genes get weeded out. Well, we're not quite so heartless. So we have decided to try, even though we will be having surgery, and this is going to be kind of a nightmare. This is just the way it works sometimes. So we are going to have to leave it to some of our little flannels to take care of them while Mrs. Flannel and I are otherwise indisposed. But they've eaten about 2 ounces today each, give or take. So we'll see what happens. That little heater is from Cozy Chick, the same people that made my chicken door. And they sent it to me to test a few months ago, but it's summertime and I had no use for it. Well, they're liking it so far. I'll give you a better review on it later when I actually get to test it in the wintertime in my coop. For those of you that were wondering about the sunflower field and whether it would actually produce seeds or not, well, I just pulled ahead and I hope you can see all those seeds. I'll break it open for you. Look at that. I mean, they're wet, but this thing is just chock full. And actually, these look like they're bigger than the ones from the bag. So what Mrs. Flannel's gonna do is come out here with some loppers and take the heads off the ones that are looking finished.
And then lay them out to dry them.
And then put them in barrels. This is my 1968 Ford 4000 diesel, affectionately known as Hank around here. And for those of you that have been watching the channel, you know what a nightmare this thing has been. But for those of you that are new, has no gauges left at work. I ran it out of oil. I thought I spun the piston bearings, crank bearings, replaced everything, pistons, rings, crank bearings, adjusted valve tolerances, new gaskets for the manifolds, everything. Fired it back up and it seized. Because, as it turns out, the main seal bearings are gone. Which means that I might have to break this tractor in half to get to it. So that is something we will not have time to do. But that ties into how you can help. There's 3 ways that you can help us in this upcoming endeavor that we find ourselves on. Number 1, you can continue to pray for us. A lot of you have been praying for us already. It means the world to us. We are going to do our best to follow James's advice and count it all joy in the suffering, knowing that suffering worketh patience, etc. We want to be a good testimony for the fact that Christ indwells us and allows us to go through suffering to bring us closer to Him. So we are going to do our best to be a witness and a light. Your prayers are helping us do that. I mean it sincerely. Your prayers, we've already felt them, not in some weird mystical way, in the fact that we're not would and freaking out like we would have been if it weren't for your prayers. They have bolstered us and fortified us, and I thank you. Second way you can help us. If you want to send us comments, I love comments. If you want to send us a card, maybe drop us a note, you can send those to P.O. Box 1057, Urbana, Virginia, 23175. We love getting mail. We love actually opening things. So it'd be kind of cool to come home to some cards that I can place around my room as I get better. The third way you can help us is with our Amazon wish list. I do have good health insurance. I am employed by the fire department. I should have enough leave to cover this. I normally save about 20 to 30 days worth of leave. And in the fire department, that covers about 3 months. Wasn't expecting. We've already had heart surgery once, for those of you that are new to the channel. They did it arthroscopically last September, and it hasn't held. That's why we're going back in. I was not expecting to need enough leave for 2 surgeries. But it looks like I'll make it till the end. So we don't need financial contributions necessarily. But I do need some stuff to help me put this guy back together. My wife, delightful Mrs. Flannel, purchased a larger compressor for me for my birthday, which is right over there. 27 gallon, 5 peak horsepower. I think it's 5 cubic feet per minute of air, which means I can run my impact driver. But I don't have the socket sizes big enough to take this guy apart. I also don't have the jack stands that are heavy duty enough or a bottle jack large enough. So if you are so inclined, if you go to our About page, and I'll link a description here, you can go to our Amazon page and purchase items directly. We certainly appreciate super thanks and super chats and those kind of things. But as you know, the platform that allows me to do these types of videos takes their cut. When it comes to an Amazon wish list, that comes right to us. So that helps us out. Let's see what else. Some of you have already done that for us. We certainly appreciate it. Some of you have bought the tachometer for us for the tractor, the milk frother so that our coffee and tea were just ever so slightly more frou-frou. Cheryl purchased the cedar for us and a few other things that were wonderful. People have sent us books. People have sent us stuff from their house. There's just, the support from you guys has been overwhelming. It's almost brought us to tears a few times, and I don't cry. It's against the rules. So I just wanted to say thank you. I do try, as you guys know, if you've commented on the channel, I do my best to respond to comments very quickly. You're gonna have to forgive me if I just don't for a little while. We will do our best to let you know once I've come through surgery okay, and then it might be dark for a little while, but that's okay. Fret not. We are also on Facebook, so if you go to Flannel Farms on Facebook, you'll see us there too, but typically anything that gets posted on YouTube gets posted on Facebook and vice versa. So, I've got to sign off for a bit. I appreciate you. I thank you for all the support over the past couple years that you've given us. If you guys have read Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel, the more people that watch, the more energized I get. I feel just like that steam shovel. So I thank you for all of your support thus far, and I look forward to seeing what all those things look like that we walked around and looked at today in about 2 months when we get our videos back up and running. Keep growing as you grow. We'll see you next time here at Flannel Farms.